Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Mike from Lucid and I fabricate and sell the ultimate manual tire changer.
TM.
To go with my tire changer, I built myself a modified bead breaker based on a tool that used to be sold at Harbor Freight because you can't change your tire without first using some sort of bead breaker.
They went together like lamb and tuna fish.
So when VEVOR reached out to me for a product review, the obvious choice was to have them send me one of their bead breakers to try out. I do have a few other tools that I bought from VEVOR myself, like their magnetic plate lifter and the rotary weld positioner, and so far both of them have been great. There are a lot of other tools that I do plan on getting from them as well. Full disclosure, VEVOR did send me this for free to review, but they're not paying me anything, so this is my own honest opinion. You're going to get everything, including the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me get a few wheel and tire combos ready to go, while the other me gives you a quick overview of the tool. The model that I went with is the HKB1040B, which includes the rubber pad at the end of the hook. It also includes a second hook without the rubber pad. These are made of cast steel, while the assembly itself is just a regular steel. And it does include instructions. I saw in another review that it was saying it doesn't include instructions. These updated versions seem to include an instruction booklet with some part identification and a simple how-to on how to use it. It does say you're not supposed to use an impact wrench on it.
We shall see about that.
I'm gonna go with the instructions and I'm gonna use an air ratchet for now. So let's get this thing all set up and try to use it. I'm gonna test it out with these three wheel and tire setups. I wanted to go with a variety just so you can see that it might work on some when it might not work on others. The only thing these wheels all have in common is that they're all made of aluminum, so I could see if there's any damage that's caused during the bead breaking process. We just have a regular series, it's a 55 series tire from a Volkswagen, your, average kind of profile. We have a little bit larger from a Land Rover. It is a 245/75/16. And then we have a low profile tire. This is a 225/40/18 from the Volvo S40. This will give a good range of differences. So I want to give it a test on each one. So let's get going with that. All right, let's give this a shot. I'm set up with a 30mm socket. Fits both of the adjustment nuts, bolts. And I don't have a dead blow hammer, but I have this really old, it's like leather packed or something like that. It works like a dead blow hammer. And let's give this a shot. I'm gonna just wedge it in a little bit, tap it down to get it seated underneath the lip, and we'll see if this will break it free. I'm not gonna go crazy and break the whole thing since I have 3 of them to do. If we can get it to break easily in one spot, it'll break easily in the other spots. All right, I'm already noticing that already made a little tiny chip to the paint on this top corner. Just because of the angle that I had it on, this is kind of thick and it's also straight instead of curved. So you're limited on how you can fit it in. So let's just go, I don't care about this wheel. I just want to see if it's good on wheels that you do care about. So let's go on a steeper angle. Let me place something right there so I don't mess anything up. All right, it's barely under the edge, but it is under the edge. Let's see if just tightening this will force it down a little farther. It did. Really like to be using an impact on this because this is full battery and it's not even enough to really do it. All right, that feels really good. If you just watch with the corner as you're setting it in and maybe not even hit it, not every wheel's gonna need it. I just wanted to get it started underneath there, but I might have not needed that. Let's give it a little tighten. That is not gonna be enough. I don't feel like doing this by hand. Let's use an impact.
Awesome. Yes.
I am back!
All right, I've got my Frankenstein 1/2" M18. Let's see how it goes. Snug this down a little bit. That popped the bead. That was pretty easy. If I could do it with this, but I can't do it with this, you could do it by hand. I don't see that being a problem. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to go around and do all the way around it. You just kind of slide it down a little bit more, and then you'd be able to pop the whole thing out. That worked pretty good. There's no damage that I could see. Nothing. It's on there really tight. Let's back it off and move on to the next one. If I had to guess, I'd say this will be the next easiest.
You guessed wrong.
But it is a little more challenging because you do have a little more sidewall stopping this from getting started. I'm going to try to just let the machine, the hook, do the starting for me. Not really try to beat it into place at all. Just get it positioned. And this is also, these wheels are just rattle canned black, so any damages that are going to happen are kind of exaggerated because this isn't really on there very good. I barely scuffed them and just sprayed them with a little rattle can spray paint. So I'm not expecting this to do any damage. We'll see though, but there might be a little chips around the edge just from where it locks in. So let's see if I can just use the top nut, top bolt to lock it in place. Yeah, it doesn't really want to go. I feel like you need to be under this lip, but the sidewall is bulging out a little bit. So in this case, I do feel like I am going to have to tap it a little bit.
Just tap it in.
Since it's hitting the tire, it's just bouncing. It would be nice if there was a curve to this surface. Like I'm contacting here and I'm not nowhere near contacting here. This is just the way they're all designed. But let's see. How can I get that to go? Maybe pull down on it a little bit as I tighten. Oh. Maybe if I, nope, it just popped right out. That is not going. Maybe there's just enough caught that it'll push down and then I can hammer it in a little more. I am starting to dig into the corner of the wheel. Nope. Oh yeah. Wow, that really gouged the hell out of the wheel. That really gouged the hell out of the wheel up here. So it looks like with something as wide as this, that's not going to work. There's no way of getting underneath there. I don't even want to go anymore. That's not going to work. Nope. It's just chewing up the lip. All right, well, let's, I'll try to set it up on the low profile tire. If I don't feel good about how it's going, I don't really care about this wheel that much. It could be sanded out. I do care about the OZ Super Turismos, even though they are a little rash thanks to my wife. But let's, yeah, I'm not feeling good about this. It would need to be pushed down somehow. There's not enough give to get underneath there with this, and the shape of it is just kind of interfering. If it almost had, if this was almost curved, like yeah, cut after the fact and curve down, it'd probably have a lot better chance. You might even be able to modify it. If you take a grinder and cut a U and then sand everything a little flatter again, it might work, but I'm not willing to go through all that for this. Let's just set up the 18 and see if I can get it started on that. Even though these are a little curb rashed up, I do care about these wheels. It's not bad to the point where they can't be refinished. So if anything starts to not look right, I'm not going to continue with this. So let's at least go in a spot that does have a little curb rash. The only problem I could see is that this tire has what they call a little bit of a rim saver. It's where the molding of the rubber comes out. It's supposed to protect you from curbing your wheels, but that's not the case. So, you know, it flares out. Some are worse than others. Some people even trim these down a little bit because it's just a heavy molding. If I can get it started underneath there and be sure that it's underneath there, I'll give it a try. Once again, I wish this was curved. All right, that does fit underneath. That's starting to go. So, okay, that's not bad. That I feel comfortable with that. I feel like when I tighten this, it'll lock itself into place. Whereas when I was trying to tighten before, it couldn't get at all under the edge. So these corners were just digging into the lip of the wheel. That's down enough where I feel like tightening this will start to set it in place. So let me go slow with it. All right, it was starting to go, not all the way. Gave it a tap. It went all the way under. Yeah, that's under to where I'm not worried. All right, the tool is almost vertical. I thought this was going to be the hardest wheel and tire to do, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. It's really seated underneath there well, clamped on well. Low profile tires are notoriously hard for working with as far as breaking the bead and removing a tire. I'm going to put on safety glasses just in case. There's a lot of force involved with doing all this, and I don't want to take any chances. So, all right, I'm going to give it a go, and we'll see how it goes. Let me shine a light in there and make sure. I just want to see how far in. Okay, it's the little pushing foot is just about touching the wheel. That's where you want to be. If you're too far back, it's not going to work. Let's go a little farther with it. I mean, it didn't pop, but it's good. Oh, this is sketchy. You know what? I bet you. Yeah, that bead's broken. If you were to just take the tool and loosen it, keep sliding it around, I mean, I'll go a little farther. Yeah, that's broken. If I were to now, say, skip 2 openings, go into here. Oh yeah, that's way good. Let me take you off the tripod. You can see that bead is definitely broken. I'm not seeing any damage from where I hammered that in. Any damage would be way underneath. Let's back it out and I'll bring it back. These wheels were painted as well, but they were actually painted by an automotive shop with real car paint. So you can see there's a color difference between the barrel and the lip. That is not where I did it. I did it over in this area over here. I mean, you could see barely a little nick where I was getting the tool in. Other than that, it did not damage the wheel. I did go a little far on here, so the pushing foot was kind of rubbing against there. I guess it'd be like a kind of a fine line where you gotta push it in but not too far. So that's not awesome, but something I think you can get used to by using the tool a couple times. There is no damage to the lip of the wheel though. The difference, it's gonna be hard to, okay. That really did damage the wheel. So you could see it just, the sidewall, where the sidewall bumped out, wasn't allowing the tool to sit in. So that's something you definitely got to be careful about. So let me put all these wheels back on their respective cars and we'll talk about this some more. As far as where the foot was with the pad touching, there's no damage, so that's good. That's something that you definitely want a rubber pad or to jam something in between the hook and the wheel if you have aluminum wheels or a painted wheel that you care about. But that's totally acceptable. So to sum it up, it's a good tool with a few limitations. A lot is going to depend on the tire size and profile and what type of wheel you use it on, aluminum or steel. I did go ahead and test it out on a steel wheel that I did need to be careful on, and it worked fantastic, minus the roll pin falling out. I opened the roll pin up with a hammer and screwdriver, tapped it back into place, and I doubt it's going to fall out again. For steel wheels, I give it a 9 out of 10. Only reason it's not a 10 is because you may have limitations depending on the style of your steel wheel. I had to put the hook through one of the openings in the wheel to get it to fit, but if your openings are too small or the wrong shape, it might not work. You do have the option of using the unpadded hook, but just keep that in mind. For aluminum wheels, I give it a 7 out of 10. Aluminum's just too soft of a material to have unprotected steel tools in such close contact. It'd be really tough to design the tool in a way so that the lower parts were padded like the hook is and yet still thin enough to slip between the wheel and tire. I do wish there was a radius cut along the front edge and not just straight across like it is. A lot is going to depend on the wheel type, the tire type, and how easy it is to seat the tool under the lip of the wheel. If you're careful and the wheel and tire stars align, you can get away with using it on an aluminum wheel like I did without any issues, but I feel like it's best used on a steel wheel. If you check down in the description, you'll find a link to where you can purchase this tool, along with a coupon code that'll give you a bit of a discount. Thank you to VEVOR for sending this out to me, and thank you for checking out my video. I'll see you in the next one.